Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate it's been 5 minutes since I talked about HCMC stock. I have been very busy, but today we're going to be conducting some HCMC stock analysis. And I know since I last spoke we had that heartbreaking moment where HCMC's case against Philip Morris was dismissed by the judge in Georgia. This always was a bit of a risky prospect. Some people made an awful lot of money on the way up. I cashed out some of my position at that point to cover what was left, but I, like you guys, left quite a few shares and quite a bit of money remaining, and I've taken the hit exactly the same as you guys. So what are we going to be talking about in today's video? Well, we've got an appeal, we've got some people saying that the judge in the case has got some conflict of interest going on, and then we're going to have a look at the company as a whole and just what is the shape of the company now that the court case has been dismissed essentially, and the chance of appeal, we really don't know how that's going to work out. So you should have done this already as due diligence, but let's have a look at the company itself and how its financials and what it actually does shape up as an investment over the longer term. Hey guys, welcome into the video again, and here we are on the landing page for HCMC. As you can see, over the last 6 months it makes for pretty grim reading, and then there's that cliff edge there that drops down where the case was dismissed. The company has since stabilised then at the 0003 mark, currently up around 12% at the after the closing bell on Friday, so we'll wait and see how that works out in the new week. And the current market cap is $90 million, an awful lot lower than it was when we were talking about it before, when the court case was still on. As you can see, there's been some news here of the court case, essentially HCMC filing its appeal against what has already happened. Now the key thing to remember here is this is against what has already been said. They're not allowed to admit any new evidence, it's just against the due process that is already happened, and they feel that they have been treated unfairly in having their motion to essentially their motion to renew what they were saying being dismissed in the first place, and then throwing the court case out as well. So they might feel that there's been a little bit of, I'm not a legal expert, but there's been a little bit of unfair due precedence there, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. So as you can see, the stock has never been lower over the last 6 months, but big major news is obviously the reason for that. So we'll just quickly have a look on the HCMC website, which is it announcing that it's filing an appeal in the ruling in the case against Philip Morris. They're going to continuously vigorously pursue the case through the appellate process, as they believe that the facts and the controlling law support their position. So they're going to have another go. They've got Cozen O'Connor, a really good law firm backing them, so they're going to try every avenue that they can. So where does that leave you as an investor? Most people in this company at the moment have probably lost at least some money. Even if you cashed out before, you might have still had some shares in, so most people are probably looking at a pretty red position. So this guy on the HCMC stock Reddit page, MDJ1775, said, well, what do you do? So you've got your hold for the appeal and see how long that takes. That could take up to 12 months. Or you walk away, you cut your losses, you realise what it was. There was quite a risk involved in this company in the first place, because it relied, or a lot of things relied, on the court case coming through and money being forthcoming from Philip Morris if they actually won the court case, for the more bullish prospects that have been mentioned further down the line. So some people are actually saying, well, what is the business and how is the business actually looking over the longer term? So if we look into that, you can see that the financials of the business aren't actually that bad. So they suffered, so they sort of were in a growth phase. The global pandemic sort of set that back a bit, but they've sort of recovered back to pre-2020 levels. As you can see, so far the 3 quarters this year, they're pretty much on a par with where they were last year, and there's still another quarter to go of revenue. So they're not actually making a great deal of money yet, as you can see with their revenue and earnings over here, but the actual losses have reduced significantly for 2019 and 2020. So even with the pandemic, they still managed to keep losses pretty low. So this year should be a pretty good financial position for the company to be in, and they're just just on the cusp of actually starting to turn a profit, hopefully, as they increase their sales going forward and manage the debt that they've got. And this is sort of supported by an article that I found on the Microcap Daily, written by a guy called Bo Rhymes on the 16th of December 2021. And it says that HCMC is making a major comeback brewing as the vape operator reports solid financials and files its appeal against Philip Morris International. Now you can get on this page, you can see the link in the description above, and we have a significant amount of shareholders involved in this company. So there's always the possibility of a short squeeze. Now that is not what you want to be going with, because that is just the not institutional investors, the retail investors, sorry, just taking power away from Wall Street again, and that is not really what you should be buying this company for. It should be on solid financials and the risk involved in the court case results. So have a look at this article, give it a good read. I'm not going to read it all to you, but they do have, as I pointed out, some pretty good financials so far for the year, and that hopefully should transcribe into the next year. And with the pandemic become less and less of a thing, that should obviously pay off for the company, and it can open up all of its stores that it's got, because we know that it's not just a vaping company, but it does health food products as well, and it has a lot of retail real estate where it involves footfall of companies, and if there's restrictions in place, people wearing face masks, all that sort of thing, it doesn't inspire the biggest of shopping environments. So another thing that I wanted to look at is that the review into HCMC's patent has been granted by PTHB over in the United States. The authority that is PTAB, should I say, the authority that looks into and looks after US patents. So Philip Morris asked for a review of this patent, and it has now, unfortunately, in HCMC's case, been granted. So if we just look down the filings here, you can see that this has been in the system for quite some time. The way back since the 14th of the 6th 2021, so way back in June this was included. And then if you just come all the way through, the petitioner is giving it all the big licks, which is PMI, and then here we go on the 17th of December, the granting of institution of parties review and the scheduling order proving that as such. So they're going to review who's actually got this patent and what the patent actually is for, and then that will also obviously reflect back on the court case as well. So this could now drag on for a very long time, so whether you want to sit on your shares or whether you want to cut your losses and sell, that's completely up to you. But in the meantime, there is a pretty, as with this article says, there is a pretty healthy business underlying it. It's not going to grow and give you a 10-20 bag return on your investment overnight, but it is a growing business, and its financials are suggesting that. So at least you're safe in the knowledge that even if the court case doesn't work out, even if the appeal doesn't work out, they still have a pretty healthy business underneath. And then I just wanted to give a little bit of background information on Timothy Batten, who's the judge that has essentially threw this case out in the District of Georgia, and there's some of his history here and some of his big decisions. He's been in the position for 15 years, since 2006, in the Northern District of Georgia, and he's been presiding over some pretty big cases, and some of this here is a lot higher profile than the HCMC versus Philip Morris court case. But there is, he has got to do what he's got to do. A lot of people aren't very happy with him, but he's got to apply the law in the way that he sees fit, and that is what he has done since 2009 in some pretty big cases. Now some people, and these are unfounded rumours, but some people on multiple forums, I can't find any proof of this myself, I have to stress that, have highlighted that this guy could have a conflict of interest because he either owns Philip Morris International shares or owned Philip Morris International shares in the past, and that is obviously not a good thing, because he could find in that sort of side of things, to help himself out or to help Philip Morris out, he could find in their favour just purely to help out himself, and that's obviously not a good thing. I have to again stress that this is not proven anywhere. I could not find anything on the internet about this apart from people saying it in numerous forums. I don't want to name and shame them, of course, but that is where we're at here, guys, with HCMC. Yes, the court case has been dismissed for now. The appeal is in. There is a review of the patent, and the court case or the court appeal essentially may wait on the results of that. But again, we looked into that appeal, and the appeal said that it would be done on basically the legal grounds of the case that's already happened. They wouldn't be allowed to present new evidence in that, so that doesn't look too likely either. Most people would say, or people in the legal aspect would say, that appeals aren't usually that successful, but who knows, with this it might actually be that way. And then we've also highlighted that HCMC does have quite a healthy underlying business. So yes, you might be stuck holding the bag because the people that were trading the stock for the court case have exited, but at least you've got a reasonably healthy business underlying. And who knows, with the appeal that could come through, or over consecutive years of more and more growth, you're going to be able to get some of that money back. Either that, or you cut your losses and you head for the exit. And that is, unfortunately, that's investing in penny / micro cap stocks. Unfortunately, that is the case. You win some and you lose some. It really is as simple as that, guys. A lot of people have lost an awful lot of money on this stock. Some people gained a lot. It wasn't just a simple pump and dump done by unscrupulous people. There was a genuine court case in, and it was as simple as that. Whether the court case won or whether the court case lost, you sort of live and die by that sword. However, there is a healthy looking business underneath, so there is some further growth further down the line that could potentially happen, but you're going to have to be patient with that. There's too many people these days that expect 10 times their money overnight, and sometimes that does happen with penny stocks, as in you're going to win, and then sometimes it just doesn't happen and you end up either holding a bag or you make a loss, and it's best to just cut and head for the exit. Thank you very much for watching today, guys. Absolute pleasure to be back and bringing you these videos. If you can see your way to liking and hitting the subscribe button, that'd be absolutely awesome, and I'll see you in another video. Catch you later.